When you try and live life in a linear type fashion, you remove the potential for life to come in and really show you the magic that it is and the magic that you are. When you live life in the non-linear way that it's actually set up to be lived, that is flow-based living, that is heart-based living, is the kind of living that's very easy and effortless from the sense that you're just kind of flowing with where your heart is taking you, where your heart path is leading you. You open up the infinite potential of the other side of the co-creative process, the universe being like, oh, this person's completely open and trusting the unknown. They're trusting us. They're trusting us to bring exactly the perfect thing that they're not even aware of, but they're trusting us to do that. So now we have the space to bring that in. When you don't trust and go, or you pretend like you're trusting and going, you create resistance. I mean, if you think about it this way, if you have all of this space and this is what can be held and the universe can bring things in, when you stop trusting, you almost clench this space, you tighten it, you almost protect it. Like, I don't trust, I'm not going down in this direction, I'm not open, I'm closed. When you're closed, nothing can come in. When you're open, you allow, the reason things happen from left field is because you are now open to possibility. If you're closed off or like I only invite this certain thing to come in, well, you're kind of like putting on blinders. You're going like this and you're like, this is it. And we're not talking about directing your energy towards like a definite chief aim or something, right? Because you let go of kind of the outcome with that as well, or how it's going to happen, which means you're still opening yourself up to possibility of all these things coming in. But if you're like this and like, no, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way, this is how things work, there's nothing outside of this, you've cut yourself off from all of these things. And it's literally infinite things, because you want to be like this. And we've been taught to be like this. This is how life works. This is how the world works. Life is suffering. And out here, it's like, no, life is unconditional love. We can bring in unconditional love for you. No, life is suffering. Okay. School, yep, go to school, get a job. Cool. White picket fence, awesome. It's like, no, you want to travel? You can do that. Oh, you want to live a life that's complete. You want to just stay on a beach all day for 6 months and find yourself, like, all of that is out here. Even things, again, I'm doing things that maybe I'm drawn to at certain points in my life, but anything is out there. And when you fear the unknown, you close up that space to where you're just looking at these blinders. And a lot of times when it's fear, it's like safety, 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 safety. And you're cutting yourself off from all of it, from what you are, from the inspiration that can come in, from the infinite potential and possibilities that are always available when you open yourself up to what you truly are. And it's so easy and effortless. And I was alluding to this earlier, the way you co-create, the way you invite that in is you simply access cymatics, you raise your energy. You feel good now. When you feel good now, and when I say feel good now, I don't mean, putting on a front like, oh, I'm great, it's amazing. But then behind the scenes, there's some sadness you need to process, or there's something you need to release, but you're faking it. But when you genuinely find your 10s out of 10s, where you are just able to go through your day in that exalted's the word that came to me, exalted energy, that higher level of consciousness, in just that feel-good place where you're just so excited about life, where you're just so able to tune in to what you need to tune into, and you're staying tuned in, right? You're tuned into the channel of inspiration and what you are, instead of the channel of fear or what you're not. And you stay tuned into that channel. What ends up happening is the universe starts reflecting that back to you. It goes, okay, they're tuned into the infinite possibility channel on the frequency of love. Okay, so let's bring in things to this infinite space they have now created, and let's bring in things on that frequency of love. Now let's beautify their life, because they have raised their energy, they've raised their consciousness. And again, cymatics shows that when you sustain a higher level of consciousness, your life has to balance out and come up here. Again, instead, some people, they're right here, and then they have a moment like this, right? Like, oh, something happened. Like we talk about the financial and energetic bank account, right? They go here. That'll be in the Rising Abundance episode. They're here, like, oh, I'm elated. But then something happens, boom, they go right back there. They balance out. Life has to balance one way or another. But if you maintain your level of consciousness, you meditate, you do practices, keep you at your 10 out of 10, and you'll waver, and that's fine. There will always be contrast. You'll find yourself down here from time to time. But instead of it being you live here, and you sometimes visit here. And then you're visiting and you're like, why on earth did I book tickets to be down here? This place, I don't like this place. Let's go back here. right? And then you're back there and your life starts to beautify. Inspiration comes in. The universe now has this space to work with, brings you in inspiration from left field. Again, you can't even predict sometimes how, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Again, sometimes you'll have a little more information, sometimes you won't. But when you understand how this process works, you can put faith in that, and trust and go becomes just an obvious thing to do.